One final look at the pine tree in the paddock at Belmont Park. Sun setting in the background, and that certainly mirrors where we're at in this fall championship meet in regards to day 38 completed. 9 up and 9 down. The sun is set at Belmont Park and a fantastic fall season. Glad you're settled in the meantime with Jason Blewett and Maggie Wolfendale on our third floor set. Bittersweet day. Breeders' Cup's over, and we say goodbye to Belmont for another 6 months.
And though you couldn't have asked for a better day to say farewell here, Jay, beautiful weather, beautiful, and some great racing to send things away, but we'll be gearing up for the Big A this Wednesday.
Big A, 12:20 first race post. Couple stakes on the card in the Nashua and the Tempted. More on that a bit later in the show. No surprise, though, in regards to Sunday's headline on this Getaway Belmont Sunday. We kick things off with American Pharoah. A new month, same gracious Bob Baffert, and the same cool, calm, collected American Pharoah having his way, meeting reporters and fans all morning at Keeneland.
I think he might be nicer than a child's pony, because let's face it, little ponies can be a little naughty, but he is the most kindest, yet the most obviously talented horse that I have ever seen. The media, the fans just went straight up. We're touching him. We're all around him, whereas some horses you'd be like, oh my God, get away, give him his space because he might kick, he might bite, but not him. He just takes it all in, and so do his connections. Bob Baffert, so gracious with his time with this horse, and I saw an interview and him saying that, you know, deep down, I'm a horse fan myself, so I want to share him with everybody because I love him just as much as, you know, the guy who's out just as a fan.
And a fitting quote from Bob Baffert calling American Pharoah the perfect racehorse, and we happen to agree on that sentiment. And 11 miles west of Keeneland will be his new home at Ashford, Coolmore, Kentucky. And best of luck and thank you to American Pharoah for the memories. Now Golden Horn is set to travel back overseas, back over the Atlantic, and he will enjoy retirement as a stallion at Dalham Stud in Newmarket. I wonder if it's a case of this horse being the European Horse of the Year, considering his body of work.
Oh, sure, I would think so here, Jay. He lost nothing in defeat for the Breeders' Cup turf here, only being run down by a filly who was trying to beat him all year, it seemed as though, and just the ground not agreeing with him. But surely, I mean, with his ARC win, that really put him at the top of his class as far as European horses are concerned.
And who goes where regarding horses coming back in 2016, and some of the best news emerging from Breeders' Cup Saturday at Keeneland. Tepin, the brilliant winner of the 32nd Breeders' Cup Mile, will be returning as a 5-year-old mare in 2016. Here she is beating an outstanding world-class field, and she did it with aplomb.
Yeah, that's right. And as far as the Breeders' Cup Mile is concerned, it's been won by a filly or mare 9 out of 32 times, and obviously Goldakova had a lot to do with that. But Tepin, she has been outstanding all year, and a great job by both Norm Cassie, who is Mark Cassie's son and assistant. They've really led this filly through a brilliant campaign, and she's going to get some rest, and we'll thankfully see her back for 2016.
Maybe adjust the game title defense on the 2016 Belmont Stakes undercard. Will we have a horse going for the Triple Crown, Racing's 13th Triple Crown next spring? We shall see, and time will tell. Racing Report, by the way, the National Racing Report, 6 p.m. Monday and Tuesday right here on MSG Plus for a complete Breeders' Cup 32 recap with myself and Andy Serling. No graded stakes on the Getaway program. We did have the $100,000 pumpkin pie for 3 and up fillies and mares. We also had the voice of Belmont calling, John Abrial, as we send it up.
And they're off. Hesitant start for number 6, Medaglia d'Argento. She's at the back. Our Free Roll is out for the lead in front by a length and a half. Shogun Samurai, Classic Point, heads apart second and third, and Hey Kiddo is next and fourth. Tea Time on the outside runs in fifth. Then it's Lady Sibylla in sixth and 6 lengths. Back to Medaglia d'Argento, the trailer in seventh. As they race around the far turn, the quarter was run in 22 and 2/5 seconds. Our Free Roll, the leader here by 3/4 of a length. Shogun Samurai is in second. Classic Point, the favorite, down at the rail. To her outside is Hey Kiddo. Lady Sibylla just 3.5 from the front. Tea Time has dropped back, and Medaglia d'Argento. They're at the top of the stretch. Our Free Roll is down at the rail. On the far outside, here comes Lady Sibilia. And Lady Sibilia has swept to the lead with less than an eighth of a mile to the finish. Lady Sibilia pours it on here. Look at this. Lady Sibilia is going to win by 8 lengths, maybe more. Lady Sibilia. And it looked like Our Free Roll held second. She's in a photo for the place with T-Time.
109 flat for the 3/4 of the pumpkin pie, and I'll tell you, Wavell Avenue, Labrador and Company should breathe a sigh of relief that this mare by Majestic Warrior was not in the Filly and Mare Sprint yesterday at Keeneland.
And regular Maryland rider for her, Horacio Caramanos, never really uncocking his stick whatsoever. She draws off by about 8 lengths near the end. She was more than ready for her return, dating back to that black-eyed Susan Day ski pad.
Your Barbara Fritchie winner from President's Day weekend, now 9 for 17 lifetime, and trained by Robin Graham, who's alongside Maggie.
I feel like I'm back at home here talking to winning trainer Robin Graham of today's Pumpkin Pie Stakes with Lady Sibilia. Robin, she showed a completely different dimension today, at least going back to her last race where she rated well off the pace, but when she came with run, she certainly did.
She did. Well, she had been going too fast. When she got in the front end by herself, she'd just take off and run off. So we changed the equipment with her a little bit. Hoped she got left at the gate a little bit. I have been taking her and standing her, so that worked out. And her early races, she would sit just off of it, so that's what we were hoping. And Horacio said today, as soon as he got her covered up, she relaxed and was perfect.
I mean, he came back and all he said to you was, wow. Were you expecting that coming off the layoff?
I wasn't worried about the layoff. She runs well off the layoff, and just 3/4. It's not like we're going a mile and a half, so I wasn't worried about that.
Robin, can we see her up here? Are you going to bring her back to Maryland?
I'm not sure where we're going next. Probably Maryland next.
All right, well, Robin, come on now, rub it in. It's a nice day today, but Robin, congratulations with Lady Sibilia.
Thank you very much.
Daughter of Majestic Warrior, trained by Robin Graham, and the Mid-Atlantic flags were flying with you and Robin in the winner's circle. A little bit of a homecoming for you?
I'd say. I remember when I was about 4 or 5 years old, Robin riding an amateur race for my dad down in Maryland for Maryland Breds and winning, and the horse's name was Chief Snow, and got the coolest trophy ever. We were like drinking champagne well, my parents were. I was only 4, but a really neat trophy and everything, so I go way back with Robin.
You've gone full circle with Robin Graham. A good job on the ship up 95 North with Lady Sibilia in today's Pumpkin Pie as we break down the remainder of this day number 38. And Falimbi, by the way, dropping out of a slew of grade 1s. The chalk players may be happy as we take a look back at race 3 on the other side of the break.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the 2nd floor at Aqueduct.
Looks like Samuel Jimenez showing up for work and gearing up for perhaps a long shot ride, a guy that is certainly adept at bringing home big prices, and I would imagine gearing up for a fall meet alongside all of us at the Big A this coming November 4th. An earlier first post than we're accustomed to of late as of Belmont Park, 12:20 p.m. and a solid 9-race card, 3 turf races, and very curious to see what both Mohaman and Welcoming can do in the Nashua and the Tempted.
Yeah, exactly. Mohaman, I wasn't here, but he was very highly regarded heading into that race, and he showed his resiliency. He was headed by Linda's horse that I can't remember the name. Seymour Dini, who did run second, coming back here last week. But yeah, excited to see what both of them can do.
Yeah, because Nyquist, with all due respect, he's 5 for 5. He should be a unanimous 2-year-old champion. I don't think he's scaring anybody away as far as prospects to wear the roses on the first Saturday in May in the Kentucky Derby. And it does seem like there were a number of fairly late, quote-unquote, late-blooming 2-year-olds that we saw unleashed or at least compete over the last few weeks at Belmont.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I mean, Nyquist, I think his distance is going to be limited. Don't get me wrong, he's very talented. But yeah, as you were saying, this is a season where those routing horses kind of get pushed to the forefront and we start searching for those Derby horses.
Yeah, Matt King Cole and Gift Box, two horses that I definitely have my eye on as we put our eyes on the gray Falimbi on a fast and firm November 1st at Aqueduct. Check out that scene off the backside with the trees, and let's see what the gray for Juddmonte and Belmont can do here. 1-5 in race number 3.
Seeker shows early speed and is out for the lead with Mahjong Madness in second. Falimbi is third. Now Angel Vision moves up on the outside and into fourth. And 2 to Tango has advanced into fifth. Means Well is sixth, and Fashion Fund is the trailer in seventh. As they race up the backstretch, it's Longshot Speed Seeker leading by 2 lengths over Mahjong Madness. The big favorite, Falimbi, is down towards the hedge and running along in third, 3 lengths from the front. Angel Vision on the outside in fourth. And comes 2 to Tango in fifth, followed by Means Well, and Fashion Fund remains at the back. The quarter went in 25 and 2/5 seconds. Speed Seeker still there. Speed Seeker by a length. Mahjong Madness in second with Falimbi in third. And on her outside is Angel Vision now moving up. The half and 50 and 4. They're midway on the turn. It's Speed Seeker by a half length. Mahjong Madness is in second. Angel Vision, Falimbi heads apart third and fourth. Then it's Means Well and 2 to Tango. They're right together. Fashion Fund still trails. Now there's a quarter of a mile to the finish. On the outside, it's a Mahjong Madness. Falimbi now comes through down at the rail. Mahjong Madness and Falimbi. Falimbi at the rail. Mahjong Madness on the outside. Falimbi pokes ahead in front. Mahjong Madness battling on here, but it is Falimbi by a neck. Mahjong Madness right there. They come for the wire. Falimbi won it. The 1-5 favorite by a head over Mahjong Madness.
That's right, Johnny I. 1-5, and if I can be so frank, not winning like a 1-5 shot should. 240, 210, 210. State-bred Mahjong Madness gave her everything she could handle today.
Mahjong Madness coming back in a little over a week off of, I thought, actually a pretty decent performance in the Ticonderoga, only beaten 2 lengths that day. And, you know, her trainer John Morrison must have recognized that she was in good form right now and tried to take down Falimbi at 1-5. She almost succeeded in doing so.
Seemed to be a popular theme. New York breds really stepping up and overachieving in some nice open company races. When you think of FNX, who ran so well behind Farrow yesterday in the Classic, and La Verdad, too, who impressed us in what was likely her final career start.
Yeah, well, they actually took her out of the sale. They scratched her out of the sale, so that's interesting. I don't know what that means necessarily, but she'll be with Linda and or Sheila Rosenblum for the near future.
Oh, I like that. All right, good stuff. Let's move on to race number 6. A near-capacity field at 12 threw it down in the opening leg of the final pick 4 on this Sunday, November 1st of the fall meet. Let's see what happened. Johnny I's got many names to roll through as we set it upstairs.
Lamontagne is out for the early lead. Elements of Harmony runs in second. Susie's a Cowgirl is next in third, and Lady Creasa is fourth. Comet 62 in between horses runs fifth. Swimming on the far outside in sixth. Moon Medal down at the hedge in seventh. Then comes Tennessee Whiskey next in eighth, followed by Orient Harbor in ninth. Mayflowers runs in 10th. D is 11th. And Rachel's Temper trails the field in 12th through an opening quarter mile in 23 seconds. Lamontagne on the lead here, 3/4 of a length over Elements of Harmony. Then it's a length and a half to Lady Creasa in third. Susie's a Cowgirl down on the inside runs in fourth. Then it's Comet 62 and Swimming. Those two are right together, followed by Moon Medal and Tennessee Whiskey. Orient Harbor down at the hedge with Mayflowers on the outside. Then it's D and Rachel's Temper. Half mile, 46 and 3/5 seconds. They head for home. Here's Elements of Harmony on the outside of Lamontagne. Orient Harbor looks to rally down at the rail. Then comes Susie's a Cowgirl. On the outside, Moon Medal is coming on now. And Tennessee Whiskey in with a chance. Lamontagne and Moon Medal on the outside. Susie's a Cowgirl is there. It looked like Moon Medal got it, but it's a 3-way photo. Moon Medal, Lamontagne, Susie's a Cowgirl.
Cavalry Charge down to the wire. The gray La Montagne. Orient Harbor clearly steadied along the rail on the inside, and it was just anybody's race, Maggie, with a furlong to go.
Yeah, I don't even know that she really steadied, which is funny because Joelle, though she crashed into the fence, just kept riding, but ultimately it would lead to the DQ La Montagne to be placed behind Orient Harbor. But, you know, this race had a billing of a Cavalry Charge type of finish, and it truly lived up to that, as we will check out the reason for disqualification, check out the gray mare La Montagne down on the rail. Orient Harbor will try to sneak out once she drifts out. Then she drifts back in, and we get some rail horse action.
Yes, that portable rail gets bumped into multiple times by Orient Harbor in the white blinkers as Eric Consell and La Montagne, they had come off the rail, and he drifted back over, and you see the point of contact there, while Moon Meadow out in the middle of the racetrack had that clear and unencumbered run, and she's able to pull off the upset. First off the claim for trainer Mike Maker on the turf for the Ramseys, and Mike Maker, uncanny his prowess off the claim on the turf.
It's insane.
He's number one in my book in the entire country with that move.
I mean, she was, what, 11-1 or something? 15-1
yep.
even? All those horses that Mike Maker has, worth a couple bucks. Even if they don't make sense on paper, it doesn't matter. They all seem to fire.
And Andy Serling, right on top of this race, talked about it last night. His Belmont Insider play with Susie's a cowgirl.
You know what's
but
funny?
He said, use Moon Meadow, and he wound up getting put up in the exact, and justifiably so. And it's a bad sort of misfortune there for Orient Harbor, because she might have been rolling best of all. It looked to me like she was just going to roll past everybody along the rail.
Yeah, it is intimidating being down on the rail. But what's funny is, going back to Susie's a cowgirl, I think I was doing Talking Horses, I want to say, with Andy, and we were up here and we were like, you can use everybody except Susie's a cowgirl. And then I was down in the paddock, and I was actually with Richie, and we're like, man, she looks so good. I think she'll turn back. And she ran well, and she ran even better today going to 7-8.
That Robbie Davis, one shrewd trainer, had her sitting on a big effort today as we go back upstairs to Johnny I. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. And are you ready for this? The Belmont Fall Finale, Sunday's night.
Kiss. And Aussie Prayer is looking for some racing room far outside Midnight Bounty. It is completely wide open here with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Now Egyptian Magic has taken the lead. Cosmic Tail on the move on the outside. And Welcome Speech is making a run down towards the rail. Here is Cosmic Tail to take over in deep stretch and win it. Cosmic Tail, 1.5 lengths. Very close for second between Welcome Speech and Monster Mash. The field is at the top of the stretch, the 1/2 mile in 46 2/5 seconds. It is Non-Stop, who once again has the lead, but here comes Borzasia Torre. Non-Stop, Borzasia Torre on the outside. Non-Stop on the inside, Borzasia Torre on the outside. Borzasia Torre and Non-Stop, the two of them come for the wire. Borzasia Torre at 11-1 for the stretch, sees by 2 lengths. Wild Impulse down towards the rail. Oscar Mike is on the outside, the 1/2 in 46 2. Light Brigade runs in fourth. It's Seas with the lead. Oscar Mike, Wild Impulse. Oscar Mike, Seas on the inside. Oscar Mike on the outside. Wild Impulse is third. It's Seas and Oscar Mike. Late run completely bonkers. It's going to be Oscar Mike by a head. Seas was second. The stretch, Seas by 2 lengths. Wild Impulse down towards the rail. Oscar Mike is on the outside, the 1/2 in 46 2. Light Brigade runs in fourth. It's Seas with the lead. Oscar Mike, Wild Impulse. Oscar Mike, Seas on the inside. Oscar Mike on the outside. Wild Impulse is third. It's Seas and Oscar Mike. Late run completely bonkers. It's going to be Oscar Mike by a head. Seas was second, and then the entry running 3 was at the top of the stretch with Exultation on the outside with More Zen T, with Exultation and More Zen T, and they're right together as they pass the 3/16 pole. Tapitation, the gray, is coming on now with Exultation, and Tapitation takes it to them. Tapitation goes on with it. Tapitation will win by 3 lengths, with Exultation was second. 3-way photo for third among Slew's Brew, the late closing payment terms. And second, Astrologist down towards the inside. It's Indian Soldier. They're cutting into that lead. Here comes Astrologist, and Astrologist takes over. Slapstick on the outside. Here's a late run coming in from EJ's Legacy, who was way out of it, and Forgive is there. It's Astrologist, Forgive, EJ's Legacy.
Silvestri de Sousa in his first American win in the nightcap as we bring on Cappy in a second look on this closing day. We won't go back far. Race number 8, the near white capitation, rolled down the middle of the Widener Turf Course for trainer Ralph Nix.
Yeah, Jay, he pretty much is white, and he would have fit very nicely in that little Meadowlands race. The Gray Ghost yesterday, traditionally run on Halloween, but yeah, it didn't matter what color. It was all capitation, winning by 3 or 4 in his second start for Ralph Nix, and he's proved to be a pretty nice and handy New York bred.
Ready to go to the Big A. These claims, few people wheeling and dealing. Quite a bit of money changing hands in the racing office, including the Old Venerable Saturday's Charm, claimed by Bruce Levine and Rapoli stable. And I do like payment terms, even though I do think he's a distance challenge turf horse. One-turn sprint is his best game. And we have one more little segment coming your way. A final look at that infield lake on a fast and firm November 1st at Belmont Park. Sun glistening off the 1973 Triple Crown champion Secretariat. He's got some company in that Triple Crown winning column, along with American Pharaoh. And good stuff there is so many sights and sounds to behold on this hallowed ground at Belmont Park. Top performers of the meet, we have quite a few, beginning with Tonalist and his repeat win in the sloppy Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Yeah, it was good to see Tonalist get back on track here at Belmont and get the kind of ride that he needed, and everything just working out for Tonalist, who is undisputed one of the kings of Belmont as far as older horses are concerned for this season.
Rockfall, let's not forget him. We say rest in peace, the late sprinter who was a sprinting tour de force all season in the Big Apple. Man, was he good.
He was very good. I mean, almost undefeated actually here, Jay, in the Vosburg. It's a shame that we lost him too early here for trainer Todd Pletcher, but he was brilliant. And he also showed grit and determination too, especially with this Vosburg win. A lot of his other wins were just easy and handily done, but he showed big heart in the Vosburg.
And the Vanderbilt too, turning back the big beast in a thrilling stretch drive. The True North, his other major stakes win on the circuit. Big Blue Kitten is just like Hickory. He just keeps finding more. And I'll tell you, mid-stretch, I thought he was going to beat everybody in the turf yesterday.
And so did Cherie DeVoe, who was watching the race in the racing office where my office is, and she was yelling for him. But you're right, he's ageless. He shows up every year at those marathon kind of distances on the turf. He's fun to watch.
It's the fall championship meet after all, and you're supposed to get your prep winners and live prep horses into the Breeders' Cup with good efforts, and that certainly was the story in the Gallant Bloom. And who would have thought the 1-2 finishers in the Gallant Bloom would come back to run 1-2 in the Filly and Mare Sprint.
Difference of a half a furlong here, Jay, with La Verdad and Wavell Avenue. Just a 7, a little too far for Miss La Verdad, but she did not disappoint, coming off such short rest and shipping down to Kentucky. I thought she ran brilliantly in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. And
back-to-back Flower Bowl victories for Stephanie's Kitten, who got that elusive Filly and Mare turf win, her second in the Breeders' Cup.
Speaking of ageless, Jay, as you mentioned, she was the Juvenile Fillies turf winner as well. And she's 6 years old, and I looked up at the board, and she was, I think, 8-1 at the point where they were about 3 minutes out, and I said, whoa. I mean, she is certainly the value. Everybody leaning on the kind of European horses, but she shows up every time.
Very good. The longest Breeders' Cup winning gap in history, having gone the 4 years from the juvenile turf fillies at Churchill in 11 to yesterday's race at Keeneland for Chad Brown. She's a good one, and she's entered in the sale for the Ramseys. We shall see what her reserve is and what kind of money she brings. And Chad Brown continues to transcend all sorts of boundaries in winning his 4th consecutive Belmont Park Fall Training title. 7 Breeders' Cup wins and counting for this young superstar.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just rolling right now. It seems like his horses just don't lose, especially here at Belmont. He has guns and bullets for every kind of division. It's just astounding or astonishing what he has done this season.
He's a master horseman and a great manager. 181 wins on the year, $18.4 million in purse money won, and we think this is a Belmont Park fall record with the 35 wins. Linda Rice, though, deserves some acknowledgement. She had herself one fine 2-month run here over the last few weeks.
Yeah, she really did. I mean, for not having such a great, stellar Saratoga, she really came into this Belmont meet ready, guns a-blazing. She, claiming races and really nice maidens and really nice stake races as well. She had kind of covered the whole gamut of our racing here.
And Erod Ortiz has many open doors. Steve Rushing, his agent, doing a terrific job, and Erod Ortiz winning his second consecutive Belmont Park fall title, and won yesterday's Filly Mare Turf with Stephanie's kitten.
Yeah, it was good to see him win his second Breeders' Cup. Such a young man to be doing so well, and he's a guy who shows up riding every race and is going to stick around here in the winter, and surely will. I shouldn't say that, I don't know for sure, but I'm just assuming that he will stick around, considering Steve Rushing is his agent. Steve likes to support New York racing.
130 wins combined between Erod, Javier Castellano, and Jose Ortiz, and a big drop-off to Joel Rosario, who finished up with his 29th win in today's 8th aboard Tapitation. We'll see many faces and names in that colony over at the Big A, at least through the first month and through Holiday Fest right around Thanksgiving. And the Ramseys pulled it out. They beat Sheikh Mohammed. I wanted Sheikh Mohammed on the phone for an interview. If we won this meet, maybe we'll get Ken Ramsey. Actually, we would probably have a much easier chance of getting Ken on his cell phone, and they had a big day, the Ramseys did, winning a couple races with trainer Mike Maker. In fact, one with Mike Maker and another with Joe Sharp, who got off the duck in the second.
Yeah. Saving it to the last day. Good for Joe. It was good to see. And, the Ramseys also had a pretty nice weekend at Keeneland.
And Andy Serling got out in today's race with Susie's a Cowgirl. Some bad or rough Breeders' Cup opinions, but all was forgotten. And we all start with the new slate this coming Wednesday. And Andy's play is in race number 5, the number 4 horse, or race number 4, the number 5 horse. It's a Given. So we'll look forward to It's a Given in race number 4. The old 45 on that opening day card, 12:20, and there is still time to open up that NYRA.com wagering account. We make it easier than ever. No forms to fill out. Funds are immediately available. Just a few clicks of the mouse with the Pay Near Me option, and so many 7-Eleven locations in the tri-state area. And we do have that $125 deposit match bonus going on. National Racing Report, 6 p.m. on both Monday and Tuesday for a BC 32 wrap-up. 12:20 this coming Wednesday. Always a great job hanging out with Maggie. We thank you for tuning in on this closing day at beautiful Belmont Park.